New Orleans rapper Wacko, one-third of the UTP lineup behind Nolia Clap, has reportedly passed away. And right now, the biggest question isn't just that Wacko is gone. It's what reportedly happened during his final hours. A man identified as Wacko's friend, Troy M. Sims Sr., says Wacko passed away right in front of him. And according to Sims' account, Wacko had reportedly been dealing with chest pains before his death. Now, people online are already trying to fill in the blanks. Some are mentioning the possibility of a heart attack. Others are questioning what happened medically before Wacko passed. But as of this recording, there is no publicly verified official cause of death that we've been able to confirm. So we're going to separate exactly what has been reported from what people online are assuming. Because Wacko wasn't just another name connected to New Orleans rap. He was part of UTP alongside Juvenile and Skip, and he helped create one of the biggest Southern rap records of the early 2000s, Nolia Clap. And for people who were outside during that era, you already know exactly what that record meant. But before we get into Wacko's legacy, here's what we know about his final moments. According to a report from Hip Hop Hero, Troy M. Sims Sr. posted an emotional message after Wacko's passing and said his friend had died only hours earlier, right in front of him. Sims also alleged that Wacko had been suffering from chest pains. That's an important detail, but it's also where we have to be careful. Chest pain can become part of all kinds of theories after somebody suddenly passes away. And almost immediately, people online began asking whether Wacko may have suffered a heart attack. But right now, we have not located a publicly released medical examiner finding, coroner report, death certificate, or family statement establishing that as his official cause of death. So at this point, saying Wacko definitively died from a heart attack would be going beyond the evidence that's currently available. The same thing applies to the questions circulating about hospital treatment. One of the New Orleans posts covering Wacko's death says his friend's account is raising questions about what happened at the hospital, but we don't currently have medical records establishing exactly what treatment Wacko received, what doctors were told, what tests may have been performed, or what medical staff concluded. So there may be unanswered questions, but unanswered questions are not proof that anybody did something wrong. What we can say is that somebody identified as Wacko's friend says he was there during Wacko's final moments and claims Wacko had been suffering from chest pains. And until more official information comes out, that's the strongest version of the story we can responsibly report. But if you're wondering why Wacko's passing is getting this kind of attention from Southern rap fans, you have to go back more than 20 years. Wacko's real name was Damon Greason, and he became best known as part of UTP with Juvenile and Skip. For some viewers, the name Wacko might not immediately jump out, but Nolia Clap probably does. The record was released in 2004 and was credited to Juvenile, Wacko, and Skip. And this wasn't just a New Orleans neighborhood record that became popular locally. Nolia Clap reached number 31 on the Billboard Hot 100. It also reached number 9 on Billboard's Hot R&B and Hip Hop Songs chart and number 9 on the Hot Rap Songs chart, Wikipedia. So Wacko was part of an actual national hit. And he wasn't simply standing next to Juvenile while somebody else created the record. Damon Greason is credited as one of the songwriters on Nolia Clap, alongside Juvenile, Skip, and producer Donald Robertson. Wikipedia. That matters because years later, it's easy for people to remember the biggest star in a group and forget the other people who helped make the music. Juvenile was obviously already a major star, but UTP became its own important chapter. The group had gone through different members over time. Young Buck was connected to the UTP movement before eventually joining 50 Cent and G-Unit. Soulja Slim was also part of that circle before he was killed in 2003. After those changes, the best-known version of UTP became Juvenile, Wacko, and Skip, Wikipedia, and Nolia Clap became their signature record. The song became big enough that Rap-A-Lot later released an entire 7-track EP built around its success. That project included the original record, a remix, and additional material, while bringing in artists including Bun B, Slim Thug, T.I., and Zero. Wikipedia. So when you hear people calling Wacko part of a classic era of Southern hip-hop, there's real history behind it, and we're seeing some of that history reflected in the reactions to his passing. According to Hip Hop Hero, Young Buck responded to news of Wacko's death by writing, "Get your rest, bro." DJ Paul from 3-6 Mafia and Big Freedia also reportedly offered condolences. Hip Hop Hero. Young Buck's reaction has another layer to it because he actually had history with the UTP movement before becoming nationally known through G-Unit. So this isn't just celebrities reacting to a random news story. These are people connected directly or indirectly to the same Southern rap generation that Wacko came from. And that's probably why this story feels bigger to longtime fans than Wacko's individual fame might suggest. Because Wacko represents a particular period. There are certain records that immediately bring people back to where they were when they first heard them. Nolia Clap is one of those records for a lot of Southern rap fans. The beat, the UTP chants, Juvenile, Skip, and Wacko. The entire New Orleans identity surrounding that record. More than 20 years later, Wacko's name is still attached to it. And that's why the news of his passing is hitting people who remember that period. But the story surrounding his death is still developing. Right now, the most important unanswered question remains exactly what happened medically. We have a friend saying Wacko experienced chest pains. We have that same friend saying Wacko passed away in front of him. We have people from the hip-hop community publicly mourning him. But we do not yet have an official publicly verified cause of death, and that distinction matters. Because when somebody passes suddenly, especially somebody known in hip-hop, social media can turn one person's observation into a confirmed cause of death within hours. That's how rumors become headlines. And sometimes those early reports turn out to be correct. Other times they don't. So until Wacko's family, representatives, or an official authority provides more information, anything beyond the confirmed reporting should remain exactly what it is, unconfirmed. What's not uncertain is Wacko's connection to New Orleans hip-hop history. He helped write and perform a record that reached the Billboard Hot 100. He stood alongside Juvenile and Skip during one of UTP's biggest moments, and his music became part of a New Orleans sound that people are still talking about more than 2 decades later. For some people watching this, Wacko may be a name you haven't thought about in years, but hearing Nolia Clap probably takes you right back. And sometimes, that's the clearest way to understand an artist's impact. Not by how often their name appears in headlines years later, but by whether the music still brings an entire era back the second you hear it. Right now, condolences are going out to Damon Wacko Grison's family, friends, the UTP family, and the people in New Orleans who knew him personally. And if more verified information comes out about his final hours or an official cause of death, we'll separate those facts from the speculation that's already circulating online. Because right now, the most important thing is getting the story correct. Wacko may be gone, but Nolia Clap made sure a piece of his contribution to New Orleans hip-hop isn't going anywhere.